right. My first snub this year is Darius Garland.
Wow!
Oh,
Darius
Garland.
Garland.
Darius Garland's my
Okay,
first snub
okay.
this year. He would make the third team instead of Damian Lillard.
Oh, wow. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Floor Generals. You're with your host, Austin Chang, and alongside me, every single other week, is Ryan Hugh. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, but Floor Generals, isn't it Court of Kings?
Oh, shit. hey, you know what? It's our roots, bro. It's our roots. I can't let
Sure.
go of it. Back to
That's
Court of
true.
Kings.
That's true. We're Court of Kings, but we're always forever the Floor Generals.
Exactly, at heart. And of course, this week, we're going to be talking about our all NBA snubs and also just a quick recap of the second round that just happened, I think, a week ago. And of course, just like last time, we can't do this alone. So we have a guest. Ryan, why don't you introduce him to us?
All right. Look in the dictionary,
Oh my God.
search for the term Hooper, and you'll see the legend himself, Mr. Aaron Cooper.
Dang, I get a rhyme. Okay.
Every
I
time,
like
dude,
the
he keeps
introduction.
doing it.
Thank you. Thanks for the warm welcome.
Of
What's
course,
going on
of
with you
course.
guys? How you guys doing?
We're
Chilling,
doing
chilling,
good,
chilling.
bro. Just doing summer school. I'm working right now, but we got some AT stuff going on too.
Nice,
And
nice, good.
what about you?
Me, I'm working too. Work at a clinic and also doing some AT stuff on the side as well.
Jeez,
So trying to
jeez.
stay busy.
That's mad productive of you, and I'm sure all of us here are doing stuff outside of talking basketball as well.
For sure.
But for this hour, we're just going to be sticking with our topics. So, Aaron, just a quick question. Who is your favorite player?
See, my favorite player, it's evolved over the years. So when I first got into basketball, being from Toronto, my favorite player of all time is Vince Carter, hands down.
Mm.
Okay.
Nobody tops Vince Carter to me. But recently, I would say the past like 9, 10 years, it's been Paul George. I'm a big Paul George fan.
That's a great
Okay.
answer. That's a great
That's an
answer.
amazing. So even through his ups and downs,
Yeah, through
his highs
everything.
and his lows, yeah.
Once I saw him perform in the playoffs against the Miami Heat, going against LeBron and D Wade, and they put up a tough fight, and Paul George was like the main guy on the Pacers at that time. Um, Ever since then, he's just been my guy.
That's nice. Did you know he has a podcast as well called
I
Podcast
did.
P? Yeah.
I did, yeah. It's pretty funny. I watch it
It's so
sometimes.
funny. It's so funny. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Austin,
good.
did you know about it?
Of course, I know about it, but
Of
I'm not
course.
listening to a podcast. P, come on, dude. I'm only listening to Court of Kings, dude. Let's
Oh,
be honest.
you're right. You know what? You're right.
I don't even know about no podcast, P.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And honestly, I haven't been asking this very like it hasn't been the main emphasis, but you got a favorite team as well?
Favorite team, gotta go with the Raptors.
Mm.
Hometown. Been through all the eras, the good eras, the bad eras. Feel like we're entering another bad era, but that's besides the point.
It's been a it's been a tough season for
Yeah,
2023, but yeah, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
hopefully.
All right. So a few things happened the last few weeks, last 2 weeks. So right off the bat, we got the firings of some coaches, Monty Williams, Doc Rivers. We talked about Coach Mike, Coach Bud a while ago. So Austin,
Oh, man.
what are your thoughts about all these firings?
Man, I feel like all these firings were probably bound to happen, you know? Like, we heard rumblings about Monty Williams. Even Nick Nurse, like, even throughout the season, we saw, like, he wasn't happy. Like, I think these, even Doc Rivers, like, I think the writing was just in the leaves. Like, we knew it was going to happen. Like, I'm not really surprised. All the GMs kind of had their eyes set on firing these guys, and it just happened, you know? Like, there's no real surprising firings, and I think it's just how the business goes, you know?
Mm. Aaron?
It doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. I I think a lot of the teams that had very, very high hopes this year Um, it was just a ticking time bomb for the coach if they didn't pull through.
Real. We've seen like these these very high like these coaches held in high regard, such as Coach Monty, who won the Coach of the Year last year, I think, and Coach Doc, who from his Boston days, which were 15 years ago, like having won a championship. But it's crazy to think that kind of how Phoenix immediately let go of him, considering his relationship with Chris Paul. Well, to me at least. And then
Maybe.
Coach Doc, obviously I don't know, he's been riding that 2008 championship for such a long time that I think it was bound to happen for him at least. But Coach Williams, Monty Williams, really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Monty Williams is, I think even each of the three coaches that got fired, like Nick Nurse, Doc Rivers, and I'm not gonna talk about Bud, but Monty Williams and Doc Rivers, Nick Nurse, those three they all really had a reason. Like it's not like you see in the past where a team just keeps failing and they just like use the coach as a scapegoat. This is more of like with Monty Williams, like we've seen it time and time again. DeAndre Ayton just can't seem to get his hand in the game, and it really feels like there's a really big disconnect between him and Monty. Like it seems like there's just it was just wasn't working, and I think it's I know they want to let go of Aiden, but it's easier to let go of Monty. Like you've seen kind of what you can peak with Monty. It's like why not just let him go and like you have Devin Booker who's going to keep getting better, and you also have Kevin Durant. Like why not go in a different direction? Doc Rivers, I don't know why he keeps getting a job. Like this guy just keeps choking it in the playoffs. But that was just bound to happen too. Like you've seen how he wasn't really the worst. Like he was making adjustments, but if you just keep failing and failing, you can't make that work. And of course, for Nick Nurse, we've seen the disconnect between him and the players. Like these weren't the most surprising firings, in my opinion.
Hmm. And do you guys
I
think they'll end up? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say I agree to a certain extent with the Doc Rivers especially. Sure, there's been some poor judgment on his part, especially with regard to playoffs. But there's only so much you can coach, and I think we have to hold some of um the rest of the staff accountable for how the team's kind of playing out. They had opportunities to make the team better. They chose to go in other directions, and now we're kind of seeing the consequence of those actions as well. So I don't put the entire 76ers collapse on Doc Rivers, as well as the players, even in the playoffs themselves. A lot of them underperformed, such as Joel Embiid
Hmm.
had one of the biggest fall offs of an MVP during the playoffs, I think, of all time. Um,
Yeah.
so it's not entirely on Doc, in my opinion, but I do see why 76ers got rid of him.
No, yeah, I
Definitely.
agree. I feel yeah, like that whole playoff series, especially against the Celtics, it felt like I think like I mean just because Doc lost, they kind of threw the blame on him, but I feel like he actually wasn't the worst in that series. Like Embiid just kind of disappeared in the fourth. Like maybe that wasn't
James
Doc to not give him
Harden.
the ball. Yeah, Harden as well. Like and the roster was actually pretty well constructed around them. Like you expect guys like Georges Niang and Jaden McDaniels to kind of step up, or Jalen McDaniels to step up and hit shots, play defense. Also Melton, like these are some pretty decent guys they brought in, and the players just seem to underperform.
I just thought the main stars were the ones to blame in that series towards the end. I think Tobias Harris did what he could. Tyrese Maxey played pretty good. Everyone else just did what their roles like what they were brought in for. And Harden and Embiid just fell
Yet
apart
again, yet again.
once again. And there's talks of Harden moving to H Town, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see. Any more thoughts on this?
I think we covered all bases.
All right, all bases covered. Let's move on. Victor Wembanyama,
Oh man.
San Antonio. Is that a lock for you guys? Aaron, let's start with you.
Yes, that's definitely a lock. 100%. I
100%.
really like the fact that he's going to San Antonio. I did not want him going anywhere else, to be honest. Uh, I think San Antonio has a pretty positive record um,
Big men?
for establishing young talent
Mm-hmm.
and putting them kind of at the forefront of their franchise in order to succeed. They've done it time again. They have a good track record of player development, so I don't think them taking Wembanyama at number one will be a wasted pick at all. versus a team like Detroit who had a possibility of getting it. Good thing they didn't. They would have fumbled that.
You know,
Yeah, I like it. I can't wait to see him there.
I completely agree on that. With you have David Robinson from the first number one overall pick I think they had. Uh, then Tim Duncan came along, and that was 22 years of playoff success. And then now with what 5 6 years of just losing, they're bringing in Victor Wembanyama, which I think is a great addition to Pop's collection of first round picks.
yeah, like Pop is about to get like 10 years younger just from drafting Victor, man. Like he was about to retire. Like he's definitely not retiring anymore.
Now his hair's turning back to black.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. So Ryan, who did you want to win the lottery? Did you want the Spurs to win?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to. My mom and my dad grew up watching. Well, not grew up, like when they came to Canada, they just watched the Spurs the entire time. So that's kind of who I was rooting for a lot as well. And Houston's not. Houston has Sengun, which is pretty good, but I don't see them developing young players as well as San Antonio. Obviously, they're like the little brother to the Spurs, and then Detroit has too many big men right now. Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Jalen Duren. Like, if you're adding Wembanyama, there's no room for development. So I thought San Antonio was the most ideal place. They already let go of Pirtle this past season. So why not start from scratch, bring up, like, work the young guys, you know?
Yeah, I think San Antonio probably is like the best fit on paper for Victor, honestly. I did kind of want Charlotte, like just in the back of my mind, like that'd be pretty nice to see LaMelo have
LaMelo.
like the biggest lob threat of all time on his team. But yeah, like when I first saw the lottery, I hated it. I was like, man, San Antonio gets another high pick. Like, what a boring team to get their first pick. But as I kept thinking about it, it's like, yeah, you guys are right. Like any other team that would have got the first pick, like probably wouldn't have developed him. Like maybe the Magic would be another team that I could see. Like
Maybe.
move Carter down to the 4, but
Come
yeah,
on,
San Antonio.
they go Bobo. They don't need Wembanyama.
Dude, Bobo's out the league, man. He's
Bro,
done ski. He's done
Bo
ski.
Bobo's the best player in the league. Trust me on that.
Okay,
He
dude.
shows flashes of greatness.
Flash.
He'll have like one possession where you think he's the next coming of Michael Jordan, and then for the rest of the game he'll just sit on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Thon Maker. Remember Thon Maker?
Oh my God,
God. Oh my
2016
goodness.
Thon Maker.
Yeah.
That was fun. All right, and any more thoughts on the lottery?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to point out the I don't know who was representing San Antonio at the draft, but man, when they got the first pick, that guy sitting there was absolutely ecstatic, man. He got up and started screaming. Like, if that didn't signify they wanted Victor, then like nothing else will. Like, it was kind of obvious. Like, you're not screaming for Scoot Henderson. Like, yeah, of course they're gonna get Victor.
Imagine
Yeah.
if it was for Scoot though.
Oh my god, that'd be insane. Who's second? Is who is it?
Houston, right?
Houston second?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Let me check real quick.
San Antonio, then Charlotte,
Charlotte
Yeah.
second.
Oh,
Portland,
man,
then Houston.
Portland
Got
would
you.
have Portland probably would have like just fumbled them too, honestly.
They're talking about like packaging Portland's pick to the Toronto Raptors, but I,
Well, that's
I
that's
doubt
yeah.
I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt that's going to happen, to be
I would
honest.
like that to happen, but I don't like any of the guys past Scoot, honestly.
Has two.
Yeah.
All right. Any more thoughts, Aaron?
No, I think I
All
covered
right.
everything.
Last one. It's a little more on the sensitive side. Ja Morant. We got him doing.
Sensitive. This is sensitive. No. He's on my fantasy team, dude. This is not sensitive, man. He's gotta pick up his act. This guy's a thug.
Man, this has been honestly my favorite bit of news that has come out in the past 2 weeks. I was going nuts with this. The memes and everything were amazing.
Bro,
How does this happen twice? Like
Honestly.
the last one just happened what, like a month ago? Maybe a little bit
before the
longer than a
playoff-
month
like,
ago.
Before the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Like
Oh my God.
I thought he went to rehab. I thought he got a
Right.
stern talking to from Adam Silver. I thought he went through all this stuff.
Adam Silver is not stern, bro. Like,
Bottom line is he should have known. Like there's no way he didn't know.
Yeah,
And then for it to happen again is actually unbelievable, one, and two,
So-
inexcusable. Like there should be there's definitely going to be repercussions, and there should be. So, but yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny that it happened twice.
I'm going
Yeah.
to send you guys a photo. Let me pull it up so you can take a look at one of the memes I saw this morning. It's in the general chat. It's for GTA.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Oh
the
GTA.
yeah,
GTA. Yeah,
GTA 6.
no,
the
no way.
GTA stuff, the Jaw Wick stuff.
The
Oh
Jaw Wick
man,
is the
has
best
Jaw
one.
Wick.
It
has me
is the best
dying.
one.
Yeah. And then, do you guys see Dwight Howard on Instagram Live
Oh
Oh
recruiting
my
my God.
everybody?
god, dude.
He's recruiting, right?
Yeah, recruiting everybody.
Bro, Taiwan's about to have a super team.
They
I'll be
are, man.
so proud of Taiwan.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. Like when I saw that, I couldn't like. Jaw literally like he pulled like one of those Travis Scott apologies where he was so half-assed, man. Like it was even worse than last time. This time he's in a car, like a car, and he's just flashing guns,
Oh
going
my God.
crazy. What is he doing, bro? Oh my goodness, I can't. Like I love John Morant as a player, and just foreshadowing. Like I think this incident probably like took him off of all NBA like entirely. Like he maybe
Mhm.
would have sneaked onto a third team or something, but like this like would have just banished him. Like it wouldn't matter if he had 40 and 15 this season. Like he was just never gonna make an All NBA team just because of this.
I'm glad you brought that up because we were going to talk about John Morant later on from my side as well. But I don't know, man. You do something once, it's a mistake. It's an accident, or it's just you learn from it, right? But you
Right.
do it twice, you fucked up. Like that's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I don't know what punishment that's going to go around, but I think he needs to mature. He needs to grow up. He's got a daughter.
Oh
Like,
man.
come on, man. Like, be be more mature. That's the bottom line. You're a millionaire. You have all these fans. You have all these like children looking up to you. But doing this isn't. It's not a good image on anyone in the NBA at all.
Yeah. So what do you think is gonna be the punishment? Like in your opinion?
Punishment. Uh, well, suspension's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then there's like I would say mandated therapy. Get him like to talking about why he's doing all this stuff. Have someone like oversee his actions. Not even it's not like putting him under house arrest or anything. It's just more of just observing him, keeping watch over his actions, his words, and who he's hanging out with. Because I think that has a big part of why he's doing all this stuff, right? The people around him.
Yeah.
I'm just really disappointed in this guy. He was such a fun guy to watch, but it's hard to root for him after he's pulled this twice.
Yeah. Like we already have to deal with him having like one of the worst gritties of all time, and like this just tops that honestly. And
Mm.
it's so tough to with the therapy and stuff because like with these young guys like of course like we're also young and like sometimes we're around some guys like that are like into this kind of lifestyle and it's so hard to like kind of manage it. Like you can give them the therapy or like you can try to direct them towards trying to become a better person, but sometimes like it's really up to them. Like you don't know if Ja like if he goes through therapy like if he even like cares or anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really up to Ja. Like he needs to know for himself that like he has to change or else he's literally gonna throw away like this lifestyle that he has. Like he literally is like one of the most like well off people in the whole world right now. Like he's a young NBA star, like on one of the best teams in the league, making a lot of money. Like he needs to understand that he's gonna throw away this just for like some stupid things that like just guns and stuff. Like I don't understand. He needs to really fix up, and he needs to
Mm-hmm.
find it in himself to fix up.
Yeah. Aaron, any final
I
thoughts on that?
I definitely agree. The one thing that's unfortunate for him is that it seems like he needs to go through this in order to learn that lesson, which is kind of unfortunate because some people already know that they shouldn't be doing this, but for him, it seems like he has to go through it, face the repercussions, and I think they're not going to be so lenient this time, especially since it's the second time around. I think, well, we already saw Nike started pulling his
Yep.
shoes off the
Yeah.
shelves. Who knows if he'll be able to keep that Nike sponsorship? So yeah, I guess
Powerade's probably gone as well.
I guess we'll
Yeah.
see how it plays out. But I think he'll be able to bounce back from this. I don't think it's the end of him. I don't think he's gonna lose all his fans. I just think he needs to just mature a little bit, but I think he'll be all right.
At the end of the day, we're just praying for his success, not for his downfall.
Exactly.
So we're just
Definitely.
hoping everything goes well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. All right, let's just stray away from this down topic, and let's move on to something a little more close to what we're supposed to be talking about today. Over the last 2 weeks, the All NBA teams were revealed, the first, second, and third team, and then let's hear it. What do you guys think of them recently? One of you can go. Doesn't matter.
I'll let the guest speak.
So let me see if I can pull up the teams just so I'm not missing out on anybody.
Yep, no worries. Card Luca, SGA, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid. That was the first team, I think.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yep, Curry,
Okay.
Mitchell, Brown, Butler, Jokic, and
I got him
Fox,
here.
Lillard, Randall, LeBron, and Sabonis. Yep.
So I like them. Uh, this is it's one of the first years where I actually more or less agree with the all NBA teams.
Mm.
Um, just based off of what I've seen from all the guys on this list, I think they deserve to be here for the most part. The third team, all NBA third team, I think that's a little bit more debatable. I see LeBron's on the third team.
Mm.
I personally wouldn't have him on the third team, but I could see why, based off his performance during the season, why he's there compared to the second team and the first team. I think the first team is extremely solid.
Mhm.
Having Giannis, Tatum, the MVP, Joel, and also Shea and Luca, who had unbelievable years again. And then the second team having Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, who was second in MVP voting, and then Donovan and Steph Curry, who had Donovan had a breakout year, and Steph Curry's consistent as always, plays great. The third team, Julius Randle, LeBron, Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Dame, I think can get a little bit debatable. But personally, I don't have a problem with this list. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I feel like the whole list, especially this year, like it kind of was difficult to find snubs. Like there was one that was, I think, really debatable, but the rest of them, it just seems like, yeah, like it makes sense to have all these guys on the list. I'm proud of Jalen Brown finally getting the recognition he deserves, though,
Let's
because
go.
I
Let's
really thought that
go.
he might have been snubbed off just because like he's such a easy player to forget sometimes. Like he averages like 26, but he's on a team with Tatum, so it's like you kind of just look over him. So him
Yep.
being on second team, I like that. Fox and Sabonis, I think they both deserve it. Like as I was looking at Fox, I was trying to make arguments for the other guards that I did have snubbed, but as I kept seeing, I was like, no, like I think Fox really did deserve that spot. So all in all, I think every one of these guys more or less deserved their spot.
Hmm. Hmm. I thought that everyone deserved the spots. There was like one or two snubs in my opinion, but I think everyone made their case. I have good reasonings for each one. Like when I looked down the list, I was like, he did this. Oh, he was the best player on this team. Makes sense, right? So overall, I think they did a really good job this year.
Okay, so Ryan, who did you have as your snubs?
Well, first off, I just want to say when I was looking at snubs and everything, I was kind of being an asshole about it because
Oh.
I was looking at the 65 game minimum thing we talked about a few weeks ago,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
And I came to the realization that five of these guys didn't get to play 65 games. Although it's not set in stone this season, it's going to be starting from the next. So I decided to get creative. Why not?
Oh.
Why not jump into it right away, right?
All
Okay.
right, go ahead.
All right. My first snub this year is Darius Garland.
Wow.
Oh,
Darius
Garland.
Garland.
Darius Garland's my
Okay,
first snub
okay.
this year. He would make the third team instead of Damian Lillard.
Oh wow.
Over Damian Lillard. Okay.
over Damian Lillard. He is the second best player on the Cavs team that made the playoffs without LeBron. He took the back seat. He was probably the best player last year before Mitchell's arrival. And he took the back seat and they still got it done with what, the fourth seed or fifth seed? Like that deserves a lot of credit for that. Being able to take a step back, tell Donovan Mitchell, now this is your team now. I'm just gonna take a back seat. But this guy still put up 21 and 8. So why not give it to him on the third team, right?
Okay, Ryan.
Darius Garland
Okay.
makes my All NBA third team.
Over Lillard.
Okay, and you have him over Damian Lillard.
32 points per
Simply
game. Lillard.
because Lillard played 58 games. I told you I was being an asshole about this.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
So is Curry on your All NBA team?
Curry is not on my All NBA team because he
Oh.
played 56 games.
Okay, fair
Simply
enough.
because of
Oh.
that. And then you
Okay.
want to hear my
Of course,
second team one?
Darius Garland, what a strong start.
Yes.
The guard that makes my second team is Anthony Edwards.
W. I love that.
All right, I appreciate that.
Ant-Man. Okay.
And exactly. You know how like the T-Wolves were kind of mid this year. They didn't really improve,
Except for him.
except for him. This guy was the lone bright spark on that team, and I give
Yeah.
him all the props for it. Anthony
He was-
Edwards. He made his first All-Star appearance, and he should have made his first All-NBA appearance as well if it weren't for the 65 game rule minimum, right?
No, of course. And he also dragged his team to the playoffs, and even
That's
in the
what I'm
playoffs,
saying.
he
That's
was
what I'm
going
saying.
crazy. Like, of course, playoffs doesn't matter, but like, for him to do that at such a young age, like, if there was a game minimum, like, definitely, I think Edwards is. He was probably like my snub that I would have wished to get in. Like, not the most logical, but like, if I was gonna make these teams, like, yeah, Anthony Edwards, like, he just fits all the boxes. You know, like, he just is that guy.
He's him. He's Michael Jordan's son. Like
He is second son, other than Jimmy Butler. Like, yeah.
yeah.
I really like Anthony Edwards. He's
So fun to
he's
watch.
had such a great year. He's probably the only bright spot the entire year for the Timberwolves.
Ooh, don't sleep on Nas Reed, bro. Don't sleep on Nas
Nas
Reed.
Reed, and then what? That's
Nas
it.
Reed, Jalen McDaniels.
Those are young guys to watch. Keep an eye
Yeah.
out for.
That's the core. Trade
No,
Cat.
but it's true. Anthony Edwards probably the best player. Like he was the lone like star and like bright part of this entire past year.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my two guards that would have made second and third team instead.
That is very, very interesting. I like that you went that route, honestly.
Yeah.
What about you guys for guards? Anyone?
For
wish you made it?
guards, I actually was surprised that Devin Booker probably didn't make it. Because I was looking at Stephen Curry's game totals and I was like, hold on, Booker's in the same ballpark. And I thought Booker had an elite season this season. And if he was going to make it over anyone, it probably had to be De'Aaron Fox. And of course, like Phoenix kind of had a slow start this season, but over the last half of the season, like they really picked it up. And of course, they had KD, but like the games without KD, Booker is just absolutely carrying him, carrying the Suns. And he shot 49% from the field, but I mean the shots that he's taking are insane. So, I mean he got better from last year, and if he made All NBA last year, like I feel like for the next 10 years he should be making an All NBA. And I was actually really surprised to see them give De'Aaron Fox a nod here, but I think, I mean, it's deserved at the end of the day, but I think Devin Booker probably would have made it for me over him. And of course, probably John Morant. He's the other guy that, of course, it wasn't for all the antics off the court. Not even antics, like just dumb decisions off the court. He probably would have made it over Fox. I mean, he was on the second best team in the league. Easily could have been the first team, or the best team in the league. But, obviously things had to happen. And yeah, I think those are only two guards that I really had snubbed. Maybe Jalen Brunson, but that's for another.
Nah. Brunson's not there yet.
Okay.
He's not there yet.
Better than Randall.
Aaron?
I
Yeah.
took exactly the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say Devin Booker as well for De'Aaron Fox. The only thing with De'Aaron Fox is I think he was a little bit more impactful over the course of the entire season
Right.
for the Kings, given that he played 73 games. Booker played like 50 something, I think.
Yeah, 53.
Yeah, so I think that has to be why they gave it to De'Aaron over Booker, because Booker, he averaged almost 28 points a game. He upped his rebounding. He upped his assists. He upped his field goal percentage. So he clearly gotten better this year. So I think if he played more games, I think he would have been considered a little bit more. And also given the fact that they got KD to kind of alleviate the pressure, I think the attention was kind of taken away from Booker, which could have played a part in his All NBA selection. But I think De'Aaron Fox was a little bit more impactful for his team. So I would still give it to De'Aaron, but definitely next year I'm expecting Booker to be an All NBA
Exactly.
selection.
But if he doesn't make an all-star team, it's not a super team though. But
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Forwards. Should I start this one off?
I mean, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
All right. So right off the bat, you already have Giannis, who played 63 games.
Oh no.
Butler
Oh no.
played 64 games.
Oh no, Ryan, don't do this.
And LeBron, which unfortunately he would have to miss it this year, who played 55 games,
Oh, dude.
which is
Oh,
crazy.
Jesus.
And this was
No.
such a hard decision to make.
The forwards are so weak. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Oh no.
Larry Markkinen
What-
first team. Just saying.
What I had to do, I moved Jaylen Brown to the first team. I thought that should have happened.
Okay.
All right.
That's
I moved.
okay. That's pretty modest. Starting out modest. Okay.
I moved Randall to the second team.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that leaves. We got a few more spots left for the second team and the third team. My second team forward, I have Lauri Markkinen.
Okay.
He
Okay.
kept the Jazz fairly competitive at the start of the season, and he made his first All-Star team. He averaged like 25, 8, and 25 and 8, which no one expected him to do from his Cleveland days. So I think the Jazz would have tanked regardless, right? But he was just there. He was just doing his thing. So Lauri Markkinen, I think, could have made a second team.
Yep.
DeMar
Who's
DeRozan.
next? DeRozan.
DeRozan. Even though Chicago was kind of mid this year compared to what they did last year, I think he was still relatively consistent, still relatively good. And he was one of the better players. Like, Zach LaVine wasn't the greatest all year round. Vucevic has fallen off a cliff. And
That's true.
He was
I don't
okay.
know.
He was okay.
I mean, compared to his Orlando days, I don't know.
I mean, what do you expect on a team with Zach LaVine, the biggest ball hog in the league? But,
Oh,
continue,
he's a
continue.
Zach LaVine hater.
I'm not a hater. I love Zach LaVine, but come on, dude. Like,
Okay.
he's not giving Vucevic no touches.
Hey, but that's what I mean. You're playing with the biggest ball hog in the league, but you're still putting up 24 points a game. I think, and you're playing the forward spot, which is not a spot that you played when you first entered the league. So, DeRozan gets my nod for third team.
So what's the case for DeRozan over Jaren Jackson?
Jaren Jackson, games.
Games. Fair
63 games for the DPOI. So I couldn't. Believe
Okay.
me, I did my research on this, and I was like, "Fuck, couldn't add him in."
enough. Okay, man.
My last one, Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
I'm
that was
just
the
a-
other one, though, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he was the most reliable player for this year's Raptors. And even though they finished 10th, he still gave it his all. 24 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he gets it.
That's actually pretty decent.
Yep.
It's not like the Raptors had anybody else to rely on, though, to be honest. But
Sure. I mean, Scotty is like most clutch player of all time. So I mean,
Oh,
he's on the
definitely.
way. He's on the way. No,
At least
why are you laughing? Like, he actually is. He was actually discussing in the clutch.
Yeah. We got you. Should have won the clutch player of the year, but it is what it is.
That's what it is. They hate the Raptors, you know. Nah, I'm playing.
But yeah, at least it wasn't like my Garland take like right off the bat.
That was blew me off my chair, dude. That
Yeah.
was insane.
I didn't think you were gonna move the second and third team players up. I thought you were just gonna go right for like a first team.
Nah, bro,
nod.
I'm not crazy, bro. I'm not crazy.
That's why I was kind of tripping out. I was like,
Imagine.
no, you're about to take out Giannis for like Lauri Markkinen.
Except for LeBron sitting on the third team with Larry Markkinen.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I think you kind of nailed all the snubs for me. I had Larry Markkinen as the biggest snub, but if I was being honest, like none of these guys down here were making it over Randall or
Oh, none
LeBron.
of these guys
No.
are as good as Giannis, Butler, or LeBron. Like, not even close. But 65 games is 65 games,
Yep,
man. Like,
yeah, yeah. You're an op, dude. You're an op. It's okay.
I am, I am.
64 games is not cutting it.
Bro, and by that logic, Mikal Bridges should make it every single year.
Yeah, you should be like first team unanimous, dude.
Anyone else for you?
Nah, I mean, how about our guest? Does he have anyone else?
Um, I don't have any snubs. I can't see myself putting any forwards over any of the guys on this
Mm-hmm.
list.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to have to give a shout out, it would be Lauri Markkinen for sure. He had an unbelievable year. He kept the Jazz. I'm pretty sure they were in first place for a few weeks at the start of the season. Uh, and he was a big reason for that. He stepped up huge. He won what, most improved, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's 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 tough to put any of the other guards over Lauri Markkinen, especially when he had such a phenomenal year.
Mm-hmm.
But I still wouldn't put him over anybody on this list personally.
Yeah, like I tried to make the argument for like Lowry and Anthony Edwards over Randall because like you see Randall's name and you're like, wait, really? Like Randall made an All NBA team, and you look at his stats and it was like he was like really good. I mean, like 25 points, 10 rebounds,
For
like
assists, like
yeah,
that's
like,
crazy for a big man, right?
Yeah.
very impressive. And also the Knicks had a really good defense, and you would think of Randall as not the greatest defensive player, but I mean if they had such a good defense, like he must have been a part of it as being the power forward, which is like one of the most like one of the positions that like you need to have a premium on defense for. So yeah, I mean Randall probably deserved that spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I
That's why
think he had a
Randall would have
really good
moved to
year.
second team for me, but you already got Jimmy Butler there. I'm not gonna argue against that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
as far as regular season goes, it's Julius Randle has a very strong case. Playoffs is another conversation, but
mhm,
he was solid all year, and
Exactly.
he's a big reason why the New York Knicks even made the playoffs in the first place. So
definitely.
I think he deserves a spot.
All right, that sounds good. And I thought I'd just do a little experiment or a little game with you guys.
Oh, okay.
We're
Okay.
gonna hold a draft. So,
Oh,
Aaron, you're the guest, so you get the first pick, but it's gonna be like a snake draft.
BS.
so what is this? What is this draft? Like
So,
any categories, or
so
just
you're gonna
general?
choose 5 players of the 15 we got on the all NBA teams this year,
Okay.
and we're gonna see who's the bet, like who drafts the better team.
Okay, let me get my notes out.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. So with the first pick, go right ahead. Who are you taking?
With the first pick, I have to go with. I got to go with Giannis.
Mm,
Okay.
mm-hmm. All right,
What is this
Austin.
draft for? What is it? Is this for like what is it for?
It's just for, like to see out of the 3 teams that we draft, who's the best one, who makes the
Because like, I
best
would
team.
pick Butler if it's for one game. Because like that's like Michael Jordan. But
7 game series. We're
7 game
drafting
series.
it for a
Oh,
7 game
dude,
series. All right.
dude. Giannis is an L pick, bro. I might have to take. No, I'll take Jokic. Give me that MVP.
Okay. Okay. With my first pick, I'm gonna take Tatum.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and it's a snake draft, so I guess I'll
Yep.
just draft next after.
Yep.
And with that, I'm gonna take Embiid.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn, tough
All right.
choice. Tough choice here. I'm looking at these two guys like who should I take? Hmm. Give me Doncic.
Advantage. Mm.
And I'm going to take Steph.
That's a good pick.
And
And it's
then
back to you. Yep.
back to me, right? Let's
Yep.
see. So I got Giannis and Steph, that All-Star game connection. Um, then I'm going to go with I'll go with Jimmy Butler.
7 game
Alright.
series. That's a good pick.
Alright, give me LeBron.
We're taking LeBron right away. All right.
7 game series, bro. Come on now.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna take Damian Lillard,
All right, all right.
and then can't leave my boy off, Jalen Brown.
Ooh. Let's see what I got left. Okay, okay. Looking pretty decent. Give me SGA.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it leaves me with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
So I guess I get Donovan Mitchell. I'm playing small ball.
Wait, who do I get?
Oh shit. Never mind. Wait.
Hold up. Oh, you're not drafting yet, Ryan. Wait, he picked who?
Okay. So, wait.
Who did he? Who did he
So
pick? Who did
my,
he pick?
my team is Giannis, Steph,
Okay.
Jimmy, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox.
So we have three guys. It's Randall, Mitchell.
It's Randall Mitchell, right?
Is it? Oh, okay. I
That's
put
it. That's
Randall or
not.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
If it's a 7 game series, I mean, give me Mitchell, dude. I'm not dealing with that, bro.
I guess I'm still playing small ball.
Okay.
All right. So who what are the teams we got? So we know Aaron's.
Okay,
Austin,
my
what's yours?
team is Jokic, Doncic, LeBron, SGA, Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, yeah. So I got I'm Lillard, Brown, Tatum, Randall, Embiid.
Yeah, these are all good
Hmm.
teams. I mean, we're not gonna decide who's the best team here.
We'll let the
That's for everyone to
listeners
decide.
we'll let
Yeah,
the listeners
let's let them
decide, bro.
decide.
But yeah,
That was fun. That was fun. I think my team destroys both your teams though. Easy money. 7 game series.
No,
Give me
I
that.
don't think
oh
so.
nah
That's cash money.
I don't think
nah.
so.
Wait,
I
Okay.
think
who?
if you have Steph, Giannis, and Jimmy on the same team, playoffs are a lock.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah.
LeBron, Jokic, Doncic. Come on, dude.
Guys, I'm just saying I have the youngest team here with
Dude, I'm
Tatum.
attacking Randall, bro. Randall is.
Tatum's only 19. I got the youngest team here, so
Oh, you right. You right.
Yeah, but we just saw. Well, actually, we're currently seeing what Jimmy Butler is doing to Tatum. So
Yeah.
But okay, fair. All right. So with that, let's transition into what's currently
We didn't even
happening
get to the
in the
centers,
finals.
right?
What do you mean?
We didn't get to the All NBA
Oh
centers.
shit!
All right,
I thought there was no subs for the centers. I thought we were
Anthony Davis
play
over
56 games.
Sabonis.
Come on.
Okay,
He
okay,
plays
okay.
he plays
For you, I
56
guess
games.
not, but for me, I think like if Steph is making it with how much he played, 80 over Sabonis is definitely in conversation. I mean, 80 legit anchored that defense to a pulp, and he had one of the greatest seasons he's ever had. Seriously, so I think 80 definitely should be like someone you should look at for a snub. I mean, of course, DeMontis. I mean, 19 and 12, pretty good, pretty good. But Davis, I mean, he had way more volume, 17
Just
shots compared to
26 and
12.
12. 26 and 12. That's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
And shooting 56%, especially with the shots that he takes. I know he takes a lot of dunks and layups, but he takes a decent amount of jump shots, and it's kind of hard to compare with like the roles that they have on their team. But I mean, listen, if we're just comparing like the impact they had to the team, I think 80 like definitely impacted way more than Sabonis did. So I like in my opinion, like I would actually replace Sabonis with AD on this list.
But 56 games, like
Like Curry, I mean Curry's there. Like that's the one thing that like Curry, like he's in the same boat as Davis. I would say like these are
I
like these
guess, yeah.
old like veteran players that just are very consistent with how they play. Like it's hard to have Curry there and not have Davis there. But that's just my opinion.
That's fair. Any snubs for Aaron? Any centers?
um, for me, not really. I think aside from Embiid and Jokic, the center position I'm just not a big fan of, to be honest. Um, I think the power forward is a little bit of a stronger role, a little bit more impactful. The center, you can have successful teams with a center that doesn't do very much, um, and I think a lot of the centers can get away with just being defensive minded and rebounding focused. So the centers that are on this list are all centers that kind of exceeded that expectation. But I do see why you'd say AD because he definitely is a main focus of LA for sure. Um, but just the games played is a little hard to get over.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, are we moving on to playoffs now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. We're currently witnessing Lakers get destroyed by the Nuggets,
Yes, sir.
and we're seeing, well, tonight's going to be game 3, I believe, for Boston Miami. Boston is currently down 0-2 against the Heat. What?
Which one should we talk about first?
Let's start with the West. Because I think that's the one that's going to make people more angry.
There's a lot
So,
of local LA fans out there.
a lot of local LA fans. But let's see. Who do you have winning this series, Aaron?
Me, I've said this since the start of the season, and Ryan, I'm pretty sure you can attest to that. My
Mhm.
pick for the finals has always been Denver Nuggets coming out of the West.
You can
I'm
hear
a-
Austin clapping in the background.
That's my boy.
I'm a big fan of the Nuggets. I think they have a strong foundation over there. I think they know what they're doing in terms of strategy and planning for their opponents. And they've showed what their coaching staff is capable of against LA right now, going up, uh, what 3-0, right?
3-0 right now, yes.
Yeah, it's 3-0 right now. They have some major key role players that know how to play their position and do their role. Then they have a playoff almost demigod in Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
He's unbelievable. And then you have obviously the generational talent in Jokic. It's hard to stop them. When they get going, Jamal is unguardable. He doesn't miss. And then Jokic, if he does miss, is there to clean it up. So it's tough to beat them right now.
Have you been seeing the memes of Michael Porter Jr. though?
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
don't even bother calling for ball Porter Jr. Like, I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
swim the rock, dude.
Yeah.
Michael, hand down, man down, doesn't apply to me, Porter Jr. Like,
That's my
I
boy,
fucking
dude.
love these.
I
So
love
good.
MPJ, man. I mean, this whole series, like, I had Denver in 5 as my prediction before the series started, and listen, these games have not been just straight blowouts. I feel like there are times where Denver, especially in game 2 and 3, have looked pretty bad. Like they have stretches where they just kind of don't score, and LA gets a run, and Denver just kind of sits back and relaxes. But I can't really just say Denver's like dominating. It really feels like the Lakers just kind of just like lose their brain in the last few minutes. Like LeBron especially, like he's been getting called out a lot with some of the threes and shots that he's been taking. Like there's no need for some of these shots. Like there are ways that they can win the game. Sit fucking D'Lo. But yeah, I mean, it really is just Lakers. I think beating themselves up. Like this could easily be like either 2-1 or even 1-2 to the Lakers. But Denver has just stayed solid, and they know what they are. You know, like Aaron said, I mean, this team is good from top to bottom. Like as I said before, like this, like the roster that they have and the guys they put on in the playoffs, there are no bad players that they put out. Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, even Christian Braun, like these are guys they're putting out on the bench, and like they're coming in the game and they're making such a big difference on the floor. Like it's hard with the Lakers putting out like Lonnie Walker, and like you don't know what you're gonna get for some of these guys. So yeah, I think Denver being up 3-0 is not the biggest surprise.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
just want to say
especially
shout out Coach Malone. This guy does not get the credit he deserves.
He does not.
That's all I want to say.
yeah. It's also the reason that the Lakers are trailing, I think, is partially due to effort. There's countless plays where you can see them jogging back after a turnover. They have no sense of urgency, and when Denver goes on a run, they kind of lose focus. And maybe the crowd gives off energy that they're not used to. But it's clear that they have some self-doubt, especially in the fourth quarter, and under pressure. because they're pretty competitive, and then they just kind of lose it towards the end. So
Yeah. It's like
Mhm.
one guy that has stayed consistent throughout the series is Austin Reeves on their team. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get from AD or LeBron, and it's crazy to say this, but you don't know what you're gonna get from those two guys in like the last few minutes. Like with Reeves, you know, like he wants to get to a spot, he makes the right passes. I mean, there was a play where D'Lo shoots an open three, bricks it. The board goes to. I mean, Reeves passes to D'Lo, wide open. D'Lo bricks it. The ball goes back out to Reeves, and he passes it back to D'Lo for another brick. I mean, like, there's only so much Austin Reeves can do for this team right now. Like, LeBron needs to stop shooting these threes. He needs to drive
Mhm.
in or at least shoot a mid range. AD needs to understand, like, listen, Jokic had 3 fouls in that game. He had like 4 points at half. Like, why are you not taking advantage of these things? Like, it's pretty obvious. I feel like, I mean, we're viewers, but like, if Jokic has 3 fouls and you're AD, like, you should be demanding the ball and driving at Jokic's throat. But at the end of the day, I think also coaching is one of the biggest things that has killed the Lakers. There are a lot of runs during the series where Darvin Ham just does not call a timeout. Like we've
Just
seen,
lets the guys play.
yeah, I mean, on the Boston Miami series, we've seen it where Spo is really good with this. I mean, he does not let Boston go on a run. The second they start picking up steam, immediate timeout, change up the roster. But Darvin Ham just doesn't have the same urgency, I feel like, and I think it's true. The Lakers just kind of lack effort, or even they just get tired and just kind of give up at the end.
Hmm. That's definitely well. One thing for me, if the Lakers want to stay competitive and get back in this series ASAP, let Rui Hachimura do his thing, man. He's
Oh
been
yeah,
probably one of the most aggressive and dominant players, at least on LA side. So let him cook, let him do
let
his
him
thing,
cook.
and I don't know, maybe they'll snag a game or two. But honestly, I think Denver's got this in the bag.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, Rui Hachimura is literally Sean Livingston 2.0. He does not miss a 2 pointer. It is insane. I've
He's
never seen him
him.
miss a mid range. He never misses, dude. He's so good.
That's the representation for you,
Yep, Asian representation.
Asian representation. And then let's move on to the East. We got we got the game tonight. Miami leads 2-0. What do we got, Austin?
I think this is really where the series starts. You know, when teams go down 2-0, like this is when you really wake up and say, listen, if we lose this game, we're going down 3-0. So I'm expecting Boston to come out with all cylinders firing. We need Horford to have better games. We need Derek White to to play more minutes. I feel like he's been someone that just doesn't get enough minutes in the playoffs. Even Brogdon, like they're playing low 20s. It's weird. Like you kind of have to let some of these bench players like perform when they've been the ones that have been kind of carrying some of the load when the star players aren't playing the greatest. Um, Miami they just have to keep doing what they're doing. I mean, I don't know if Caleb Martin's gonna continue being the best player in the world, but I think this is really where the series starts. Like it's hard to really speak on what's been going on so far, just because like going down 2-0 was a really big problem. But I don't know. I think the series really starts now.
So you still got Boston coming out, or
I I'm I won't say this now. I think the series is gonna be tied 2-2 though.
2-2? I would. We'll see. We'll see. It's very soon.
Missoula's been getting exposed though. I'll say that he
Yeah.
has been getting exposed.
What about you, Aaron?
I this has been my favorite series to watch in all of the playoffs. I know it's only been 2 games, but I think the intensity is there. The rivalry is somewhat there. Just the level of competition is just at an all-time high for me as a viewer. Um, I think I think Miami's going to take this series,
Mm.
but I do think it's going to be 5. I don't think they're going to get swept. I think it's going to be Miami in 5. Um, and to me, Miami and a lot of these other teams that have made the playoffs um, continue to show why the regular season doesn't matter all that much. Because a lot of these teams that have performed very well in the regular season just haven't in the playoffs. So I'm talking about Cleveland. Um, I'm talking about Sacramento. Also the Grizzlies. Um, yeah, those teams that perform well in the regular season that don't in the playoffs, and then combined with Miami, who was an 8 seed and now just went up 2-0 against the 2 seed when they're playing on the road is almost unheard of. And I think if they can close the series out, then I think they're going to be well respected for the next few years for sure.
Heat culture is one of the most underrated cultures, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you guys know that this year's conference final matchups are the same as the bubbles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah. So
completely
It's pretty
validates the
amazing to
bubble.
see.
it'd
They
be
said the
really
bubble was a
fun.
fluke.
It doesn't look like a fluke to me right now.
Nope.
I know
Yeah.
everyone wanted to see the LA versus Miami rematch and everything, but I think it'd be really crazy to see Denver and Boston go at it. But at this rate, it's looking more like Denver and Miami. You know,
Yeah.
the,
And it's
the
really
mountains versus South Beach. Yeah.
it's really weird that you look at Miami's roster and they already don't have Tyler Hero playing. But
Victor
you look at
Oladipo's not playing either.
oh yeah, Old Depot as well, and you're putting out Kevin Love, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and this team is winning games. It's really weird to see. Like I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, Butler is obviously carrying them, but I think this is where you kind of look at and say, coaches really do determine series. Like Coach Spo, he's probably the best coach in the league at the moment, and we're really seeing why.
He
Yeah.
does not have a coach of the year.
Unreal, unreal.
It's crazy.
He's a playoff
Crazy.
coach. He's a playoff
He's
coach.
definitely he's a playoff
He
coach.
is.
Like obviously, the Heat got the first seed last year, but they lost by one game for a trip to the finals. But Coach Spo, like throughout his time with the Heat, it's just been crazy. He's probably been the best coach this entire
Yeah.
like last 10, 15 years.
By
Or not
far.
15, like last 10 years probably.
By far. Most consistent for sure. I mean, he's been
Most
around for so
consistent, yeah.
long. The amount of roster shakeups that they've had and that's also good on Pat Riley to like still continue to believe in Coach Spo. Like it's important to kind of put your back behind someone that you know can perform. Like it could have been so easy to fire him in like 2016, 17 when like it's D Wade's last few seasons, like Chris Bosh is slowing down, like you don't know where you're like what's your direction, but I mean, I'm really impressed with Pat Riley to keep him around, and we're seeing why you keep him around. I mean, they're about to beat the Celtics. It's crazy.
Yeah. We also got to give a huge shout out to the role players on Miami. They've stepped up huge.
So many
Honestly, I
undrafted
don't know if
guys.
anybody really expected this out of them. Martin, Vincent, even Duncan. I'm pretty sure he was out from injuries,
These,
but he
these guys
came
are
out.
all undrafted players. Did you know that?
Yeah,
All
and
undrafted.
yeah, even Duncan came off the bench and put up almost 20 points, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely spacing the floor for Jimmy Butler to do his thing. Also, Lowry continues to give his heart every single game, which is pretty typical, usual stuff for him. But yeah, I'm very impressed with this Miami team.
Yeah, Strus and especially Strus. Like Strus is definitely gonna get paid this year. I don't really. I'm not surprised if he gets upwards of 20 million. I mean, he's shown that he can be like like a starting shooting guard on a playoff team. He plays hard on defense, and he's one of the best shooters in the league. Like he's gonna get
Yeah.
paid this year, so Miami really should take advantage of this. Honestly.
Yeah. Miami's definitely got this. Obviously, Jalen Brown's still my guy. I really want him to see him win a ring, but I think Miami's probably going to win this right now in probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, and also real quick, the last thing I gotta say, I am so thankful for Bam Adebayo being aggressive. I
Yes.
remember the last time we talked about like all the centers in the conference finals or in the semifinals were just
Semis,
like
yeah.
so lackluster. Like Embiid,
So
Bam,
passive, bro.
AD.
Like,
It's like what are they doing? They're just like walking up and down the floor, not rebounding it, and like they're not even scoring. But like now you see Bam is absolutely putting his hands on the game. The first game, he has 20 and 8. Second game, he has 17 rebounds. I mean, this is what I want from Bam. Like he is one of the most talented players in the league. He just doesn't show it, and I'm glad that he's actually putting out a performance now.
Yeah.
yep.
Although it is a little strange, his free throw percentage kind of took a little bit of a hit, but I think it's still good for him to try and be aggressive, especially if Boston's putting a lot of their effort in defending the perimeter, which they should. Miami's shooting the lights out, so having Bam down there to kind of get in there, disrupt some things on the interior definitely helps.
Yeah.
And I think if Boston wants to get back into the series, um, maybe don't poke Jimmy Butler, like don't poke the bear. We saw what happened with Grant Williams the other night, and Miami like went on like a 24-9 scoring run or something like that, which
Jimmy Butler
was
sent his ass straight to the bench.
exactly.
Scored on him 4 straight possessions after that.
I'm just saying, like Boston needs to play more small ball, in my opinion. Obviously, you have Bam in the paint, but like get your shooters up. Maybe you'll stand a chance. But I think Miami has this one most likely locked in if they don't win tonight. And
Fair
yeah,
enough.
that's my take on the Boston Miami series. Is that everyone's Denver and Miami or
Uh, I mean, okay, if I have to make a prediction, I'll say Boston. I'll say Boston
okay
in seven.
okay
I still believe in
Okay.
Boston. I think we still haven't seen the best of them. Like as I said, the series doesn't really start like until like if you're down 2-0, like the series really starts at the third game.
mm,
And maybe they make some. I think Missoula just has to like work with the timeouts. And Horford and Williams, it's tough. Like they're playing them together a lot, and I think one of those two guys has to like maybe get the axe a bit with the minutes. And I would just like to see Derek White get some more minutes. He's been really good this playoffs, like and especially in this series, like he's been really good. I think I would like to see a bit more of him, honestly.
we'll see tonight, man. We'll see tonight. So Aaron, does that
Yep.
mean you got Denver winning it all? Denver Nuggets 2023 NBA champions?
I don't. If it's Denver and Miami, I don't have any predictions at the moment. I would have to
Ooh,
watch game one.
Wow.
I think. I think there's too many unknown variables between those two teams.
this guy's playing it safe.
Um,
Yeah. Let me clear it up here. If it's Denver Miami, Denver and four. Easy call. Denver is too nasty. Come on
oh
now.
my goodness. I wouldn't say that. I think the series is going to go to 6 no matter what. No matter who makes the finals, I think it's going to go to 6
Mm,
Yep.
because
good call.
I think all the teams are relatively close in in I guess skill, and also aside from Eric Spoelstra having so many years under his belt, I think there's not much finals experience between the coaches of the rest of the teams, and I think it could be a toss up. But Miami, I think with the veteran knowledge of Kyle Lowry, also having Jimmy Butler, who's been a playoff performer his entire career, along with Coach Eric Spoelstra having been to multiple finals, um, I think they have the theoretical knowledge to win at least a few games. So I wouldn't say they're getting swept if they make it to the finals.
No, of course. And I think for both teams, like that, I like how we're already like previewing the finals, even though it's not over yet. But both Michael Malone and Eric Spoelstra have like they have not played against the strongest coaches throughout this playoffs. I
Yep.
mean, the first series for Miami against Mike Budenholzer, like not the greatest coach. Then you're playing against Tom Thibodeau, like notorious, like just sticks to his guns. Like it'd be interesting this in Michael Malone on the other side with Monty Williams. Chris Finch is okay, and Darvin Ham is not bad, but I mean, if they play each other in the finals, like that would be the like obviously me saying Denver and four is obviously a joke. Like it's gonna be like the ultimate chess battle of coaches. I mean,
Yeah.
those are probably the two
It
best
could
coaches in the league
it
right
could
now.
probably head to game 7 games, honestly.
Yeah, like both these coaches are really good with the rotations and making adjustments during the fly. And yeah, if that's the finals, I am the happiest fan in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no matter what, I think MPJ is going to win Finals MVP. Like that's
Oh
just.
yeah, oh yeah, never swing the rock, boy.
But yeah, I think this has been a very interesting playoffs, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds in 2 weeks.
I agree.
Yeah.
And with that, is there anything else we want to talk about? Any final thoughts, closing thoughts?
No,
No, I think
I
we're
think I'm
good.
all good.
I think
All
Ryan,
right.
Ryan, you can end it. You can end it, Ryan.
All right. Well, thank you, Aaron, for coming on. I know this was pretty last minute to ask you to hop on, but I really appreciate it.
It's all good. No worries. I had a great time. This
All
was fun.
right. Well, we hope to have you back some other time in the future. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, of course, thank you. And once again, thank you to Austin for being such an amazing co-host.
Oh, that's cute.
Of course, of course. And this has been Court of Kings. Thanks for listening.